Hello, everybody, and my dear students. NEET is over, and what a what a development, isn't it? I still remember making that voice message for most of you all that the NEET is over. Please relax. And immediately after that, within I think a few seconds, it's like as though the AIMS people heard and said, "No, no, 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 let them not relax. Let us release the application form immediately." And there you go, and then the AIMS application form, the notification, the date of the AIMS exam, everything on the same day. What a paradox, isn't it? So anyway, my dear students, um, let me tell you first that like it's not easy to jump from one to the other. But again, they are totally different. I know that both are exams, but they're totally different exams, right? Now, if you look at the last November INI-CET, what actually happened? We had almost like 150 repeats and then 50 new questions. Okay, so all that you had to do was do the previous year's papers, and this has been happening for the last three exams. NEET, hardly any repeats. Even last year, there were hardly like 15 repeats. Even this year, I think maybe around 10 repeats or so. Repeats in the sense repeats directly. And then the entire paper was where you had to, it is not straight. It's not like you studied in Pulse or you studied there. It's all there. All of you have done everything. You almost know everything. Only thing is that, what is the answer? What is the answer? No, you have to take some time out and arrive at the answer. It's good. It's very, very nice to have a paper like this, which makes the students think a little bit beyond than what they have really studied and not just, verbatim, just learn the answers and come back and dump the answers there in the exam hall. Okay, so but irrespective, my dear students, now that the NEET is over, I'd like all of you, those of you who are getting ready for the INI-CET, to keep NEET in a cupboard, lock it up. You have done what you can. You have done your best. And I know, my dear and dear CD students, I know you all. We have been giving exams right from last July until 2 days before your NEET exam. More than 100 live exams. It's so many questions moving around here and there. And you've been exposed to a lot, so you know a lot, so you have a lot of information inside you. So you don't worry about, the results will take care of itself. The lovely saying in Mahabharata, you do your job, the results will take care of itself. So apna kam, whatever we have to do, let us do our job well. And our job is to study. Our job is to be consistent. Our job is to give our best. The results, whatever happens, we will take care of, and that will take care of itself. You need not worry. Okay. The first thing, my dear students, is to move out of the hangover of NEET exam and to slowly focus and put your mind towards where you have to go for this INI-CET. Okay, right? So it's a very small talk today. I'm just going to give you very few brief insights. And I think later, through my voice notes, I'll keep encouraging you all. I'll tell you all what to do and what step to take and how to go on. Okay, chalo. So let's begin. First and foremost, I would, yes, 100%, even the test series, even the timetable, what I'm going to tell you from now on, I'm going to share from you, is going to be after this Sunday. So mentally, I am going to tell you all ki take some time off. You can do some reading if you want to, but otherwise take some time off. Okay. Worst thing is to worry about the results, worry about what you have done. Go back and discuss those questions as though they're going to come for your aims right now. Nothing is going to happen. They're totally different bodies. Don't waste your time in all the jargon. Just bhul jao. बाद में देख लेंगे. अब नहीं. Now it's for you to spend time with family, spend time with friends, as I've been giving you all voice messages, and take some time off. Go somewhere. Go backpacking. Tell your parents, like I'm going to the sea, I'm going to the hills, I'm going here, I'm going there. Do something different. Or just sit at home, enjoy mom's great food, or your family around, whatever. Anything to take your mind off so that you can start off the next phase of this journey in a big way. What I would say is that you worked hard for NEET, and AIMS is just around the corner. So I feel everybody should ideally attempt AIMS. Whether you get through or not, wo alag baat. It's a totally different issue. Let us try and give our best for the AIMS exam, which is coming very soon. Okay, because you already studied, you've done the hard work. And my dear students, if you can write a NEET exam like last Sunday, AIMS is a piece of cake. AIMS is not difficult. It has never been difficult. Okay, AIMS is difficult simply because the number of students getting through are very, 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 very less. It is not that the paper quality is amazing and brilliant. No, the last four exams, the paper quality is zero, zero. I don't think even a small LKG exam, the teachers will take some time to set the paper. But this paper was very bad. All that they have done is, they've just taken the last few years. In fact, last year the entire repeats were from 2015 and 2016 and 2014, right? So almost 140 150 questions just taken from those three papers. So where does it leave the room for a good student or an average student? You have repeated the entire paper. So first and foremost, remove this from your heart or your mind that AIMS paper is a tough paper. No. If you can write a lovely paper like NEET, which was done this Monday, 2 days back, you can easily face the INI-CET exam in any way. It is not difficult, right? But we have to do things the proper way. That you have to do. Okay. So we have to follow a few things and we have to learn a few things and we have to do it. So let's start off. Okay. Now, whom we have here is Dr. Shahid and Dr. Ashwati. And it was wonderful. Both were in Davangere, so they could come down. We could sit in a coffee day and share, and like live that experience of topping the country. And CDs has done it now for the last 12 years, and almost 80%, even 85% of the entire AIMS, whether it is JR, SR, whether it is the PGs, all belong to CD's family, and it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful experience, and I'd love most of you all again to be there into AIMS. Okay, I visited all the homes of Shahid and Ashwati and Shala, and I'd love to come to your homes too. You invite me or not, I'll come somehow. Okay, it's an honor for CDs too. And it's really nice. In fact, Shala was seeing me for the first time when I went to her house because she was a satellite center student. And for the first time, she saw me at her home. So you can imagine, right? So, anyway, so my dear students, let me just discuss a little bit about what and how are we going to go ahead. What is it that you need to face this INI-CET? How exactly should your preparation be? A very short way. We'll try to wrap it up. Okay, done? So I'd love you all to be there, like Shahid or Ashwati, and yeah, wish you all the best. Right, let's move on. Now, when you think of INI-CET, it's very different from your NEET. Okay, it's 200 questions. Let's start off. 200 questions, and like we have 100 in basics and 140 in clinicals, it's almost the same ratio here, wherein we can expect like 150 marks for the clinicals and 50 marks for the basics. This is a said rule. I mean, they've been almost been following this for the last many years. Once in a while, they break it and then it again goes back. Now, something as I've told you before, very alarming thing is that since the last four exams, they have been putting in a lot of repeats. Okay, they have been putting in a lot of repeats. So repeats will form a main forte of your preparation. मतलब अगर आप prepare कर रहे हो, मतलब if you're preparing for let's say 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day, you got to spend around 2 to 2.5 hours for repeats every day. It's like a dosage. मतलब you आप उठो, like how you brush your teeth and take a bath every day, you have to do repeats every day. There is no doubts about it because they are forcing us to study repeats. So let us study repeats. I told you, right? No exam is difficult. We have to strategize ourselves and we have to plan ourselves as per the exam. You don't plan, you're planned to fail. So let's plan and let's approach it in a proper way. I'm hoping you're understanding what I'm saying. Okay, now the whole thing of this INI-CET is something like an hourglass shape. Okay, I'll tell you what this hourglass shape is all about. Okay, now when I say hourglass shape, let us assume that you're going to start your preparation from this coming Sunday. So it is the 24th of March. Okay, so you're going to start from this coming Sunday. How many weeks do we have? We have 8 weeks to be precise. Okay, how many weeks do we have? 8 weeks. What are we supposed to do? Before we get into that, 8 weeks, let us understand this hourglass principle. Now, if you look at the previous 4 years papers, the amount of marks which has been given has been maximum for the subject which you all love the most. It is community. So community is one subject which is the first subject which I would like you all to start. Community. Be very thorough with community, especially epidemiology, biostatistics, and PSM, that is preventive and social medicine, right? And if you've been in CDs, if you've attended all the classes, I think your concepts will be quite clear. We will also take additional lectures, like if you've seen my recent YouTube classes on chest x-ray or on pharmac discussion, I will take up discussions on community and all that. That will be put up, of course, in your BDS next tab. So you can go back and you can watch them and make your concepts very thorough. So community is one subject. And if you have great books like Vivek Jain, you can go through those books and solve those problems. I think your concept should become very, very clear. And for anything additional, we're always there to help you. Okay. So community is number one. And after that, you have orthopedo. Okay. And now comes the squeeze button. Now, this squeeze is basically got to do with prosto. Okay. It's got cons and it's got DM. Now, why I say it's a squeeze like an hourglass shape is there is too much of data in prosto, too much of data in cons, too much of data in DM. We don't have that much time or the liberty or the freedom to spend so much time studying them. But you have to study them and you have to do it in detail. Okay, I'll tell you how. After you have done these, then you will actually finish it up with oral surgery, and at the foundation is the mother of all subjects, our favorite, oral pathology. Okay, so you have a basic order. We start with community. Okay, yeah. So you start with community. You go for orthopedo. You go for the prostoconsonanto DM concentration completely. They're extremely important. All three subjects have to be done well. But the amount of time, see, why I'm put community at the top and a lot of space at the top is you got to do community properly. You got to understand it. You got to solve problems in epidemiology. You got to solve problems in community on biostats. Your formulas. Okay, what is relative risk? What is attributable risk? What is this? What is that? What is coefficient of variance? Or how do you understand the test of significance? You have to go through it. PSM, all the yojanas which have come about, right? All of those concepts should be very clear. Then you go to orthopedo. Even though there is so much to do, the time that you have is a little lesser. So you have a lot to do, but your timing is a little lesser. When it comes to ortho, all your appliances, your instruments, your materials, very important. And then, of course, prostocons into DM, then oral surgery, and then comes oral pathology. This is in brief about the order of subjects in which you have to do. Okay? Now, how many how much of time do you have? You have 8 weeks. So let's do a simple mathematics. 4 plus 2 plus 2. What is this, sir? 4, my dear students, is for the clinical subjects. 2 is to end up all your basic subjects within this 2 weeks. And the last 2 weeks will be kept exclusively for the final minute revision, right? So you have to load yourself with MCQs every day in the last 2 weeks, and we'll tell you how to go about it, right? But 4 plus 2 plus 2, just remember that 4 plus 2 plus 2. So these 4 weeks, you are going to sit and finish your clinical subjects again as well as possible in the order in which I have mentioned. Your test series for aims will also follow the same order so that your concepts will become very clearer. And this time we will also have the discussions which we'll put up. It'll be in your app. So you can sit back and you can watch those why this is this or why that is not that, right? So we'll try to learn that app, and I wanted to be very, very thorough with these entire thing. This is all your clinical subjects in this order, and then 2 weeks you spend for basics, left, right, up, and down. All basic subjects have to be done. Now, don't select, okay, DADH is important, yeah, yeah, important, yeah, pharmac is important, I'll not do the other subjects. No, right? Let's say that you leave micro and 3 questions come from micro. They're asking some very simple questions. Let's say coagulase positive, coagulase negative, or something on your McConkey medium, or very simple questions. But if you have not read it, You know better than me that you're not going to get it correct in the exams. Okay, so that's your, but all subjects have to be done. So you can spend these 2 hours. And then last 2 weeks will again go for 70% of clinicals and 30% of basics for it, right? So you have this 8 weeks, which is sorted out for you and for you to finish this data, right? Now, how is AIMS going to be a little different compared to your NEET exams? Let's start off. First and foremost, my dear students, is repeats. As I mentioned, every day you got to do repeats, right? Right from the year 2010 till 2023, till the recent paper, jo bhi hai, whatever is there, do it. It's not that you should focus only on the last 2 3 years papers. Last year they repeated from 2014, 15, 16. So you're going to go from 2010. Clear? From 2010. That's point number one. Point number two is they love asking you questions on classifications, all the weird classifications that you see in, for example, you're reading Dental Pulse, Nagpur classification. Now, I mean, there are thousands of classifications. Now, why is this classification gained importance? Why should it be asked for exams? We will decide that later. So, all these weird. So, you should be very thorough with your classifications. Then, picture based questions. If you've been in CDs, if you just go through the live exam section and all those 100 exams, we have, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of picture based questions trying to make you think a little bit beyond than what you've done and you should capture. Again, my dear students, see, when you're reading see, you give an exam, you attempt the exam, you see your score, you see which questions have gone wrong or whatever. And if there are some explanations given for certain questions, spend some 1 or 2 minutes and tell, okay, this is it. And then just try to do that. Okay, and really, really help you in a very big way. So your classifications, your picture-based questions, then instrumentations. My God, I'm putting instrumentation separate from picture-based questions, right? So instrumentation where three major subjects. Either you have instrumentations in perio or oral surgery, and most important, your consonant. Of course, I'm sorry, ortho, right? So OS and ortho. So perio, ortho, OS, consonando. The instrumentations here, you have to be very, very thorough. Right. So picture-based questions in ortho will cover all your what is Jasper jumper, what is Mara appliance, what is Forces appliance, what is Eureka spring, what is Kobayashi spring, what is, you can go on, right? And on the other hand, instrumentation, very, very important. Ocean beam chisel, right? Whether it is a neighbor's probe, whether it is your suturing needle, oral surgery, what kind of retractor is being used, right? Or consonant ortho files, your burrs, your isolation instruments, whether it is your different kinds of rubber dam, the new kinds of rubber dam. All of this is important, which we say it comes in instrumentation, right? So you should be very thorough with these things. The next most important is your latest info, which is mainly from the journals and other information, which I think if you suddenly you find certain weird questions coming in your live exams and you're wondering where is this from, they are from the most recent information from the various journals which our staff. CDs has a faculty of more than 30 to 35 MDS staff members sitting and guiding you. Even though you only see me, there are people behind you working. So, they pick out the latest info, what is happening, most important, and they'll be dropped as MCQ bombs when you're giving your exam. So you don't have to focus too much, but you have to have an idea as to what is going on there. Okay, so that's about latest info which you get from various journals and all that. And then obviously your most important, your clinical applied questions, right? So you will have discussions, you will have explanations, you will have questions to make you think a little beyond than whatever you have done. All of this are the major things which are very important for your INI-CET. Along with that, I would say you have what are called as SR papers, right? So if you have the red book, and if you see there's an entire column on SR papers, SR Dhamaka and all, that's a huge list of questions given. You should try to do, though they have stopped giving SR questions, I think for the last almost 5 to 6 exams, very few SR papers questions, very, very little, but you never know, right? They had stopped giving repeats for the last, almost 3, 4 years. There were no repeats at all. The entire AIMS paper was a fresh paper. But since the last four exams, again, repeats, 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 repeats. So it's like that, right? So you have to be very thorough with these things. So I'm hoping that, my dear students, that you know where and what and how to just slowly start off. Basically, give a kickstart. Know that everything that you need to top this country, you have. You have the best resources, you have the guidance. Just make your mindset proper. Get that thing into your head कि हाँ मुझे करना है, मैं करूँगा. I have, it's just hardly, as I've said, it's 8 weeks to go. And let me give my best, as I've already given you the order, or the hourglass principle. Why I put this hourglass, please understand, when you look at prosto, consonando, DM, there's a very high possibility that you might try to spend a lot of time. So try to squeeze it within that less time, but do everything. Okay. So try doing it in this basic order and understand what are the most important things which has to be focused, my dear students, on this, especially to cover the most important parts which they love asking for your INI-CET. Okay, so let's kickstart our preparation like this. Our series, test series, also will be following the same pattern, with various discussions, and as well as whatever is needed for you all to be pushed, and for you all to top this country, and to be the best of the best, and to get into All India Institute of Medical Sciences. And the best part is, even though the AIMS exam will be on May 19th, you will enter into PG through INI-CET or through AIMS faster than what you enter through your NEET. By July 1st, I think you will be entering into AIMS, right? If you get into AIMS, July 1st, you will start your PG. Whereas in NEET, well, we never know, right? But NEET, I think by the time the counseling and everything is done, you will enter PG probably by August or August second week or something like that. Okay, all of you. So I'm hoping that I've given you a small kickstart. I've given you a small time frame. I've told you all what is it that you're. I'm not getting into specifics like do this for 2 days, do this for 3 days, do this. It becomes too tight for yourself, and everybody is a different ball game. Everybody, your strengths are different. Maybe some of you are very strong in community, so you might wrap up community in 2 days' time. But some of you might be weak in prosto and cons and endo, so you might have to spend a little bit more time for prosto and cons and endo. So you decide as per your comfort. How is it that I can complete, right? But you have 4 weeks to wrap up your clinical subjects, 2 weeks for basics, and 2 weeks to revise everything. It's more than 1,500 MCQs per day in the last 2 weeks. And let's give our best for the exam that is coming. And you never know, right? You may be walking into All Indian Institute of Medical Sciences come July. Wish you all the best. Take care. And remember that you are the captain of your ship. So just sitting there and telling, okay, I can't do it, you will not do it. But if you just have a small change of frame set or change of mindset and tell yourself that key, let me work. I've already done the hard work. I've already done everything. Now I just have to shape it up, polish it up a little bit. This is all that you're doing in these last 2 months. The hard work, the body, let's say that you are doing some painting, you've done everything for the NEET exam. Now we give some small finishing touches. Like I would always give this example: if you're building a house, you built the house, you've done everything. The final interiors you have, matlab, putting some curtains, or maybe just putting some wallpapers in some place. That's all that you need for the next 2 months. Keep your mind free. Don't worry too much about the NEET exam. What has happened has happened. What will happen will happen. Let the results come. We will see then. As of now, if you have the energy, give your best for INI-CET. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Take care.